It always comes to this. More nice shit. Hello there guys, here to do another tattoo progress update today. Where I last left off, I had just showed off the white and black on black roses with the new highlights. So again, that's third pass high points now. You can see they healed up. They look almost identical to how they were when they were fresh. I did say that was going to happen. I've shown that already with these. You know, I'd never done the third pass white thing yet. As much as I get tattooed, I've never actually done 3-pass white over anything really. So I wasn't exactly sure what I was going to get with that until now, but it went about the way I expected it to. And it still has that kind of glow-in-the-dark property I was mentioning before. So they came out really cool. I'm very happy with them. Yeah. Obviously, when I was talking about them last, they were pretty risen. I talked about how 3D they felt. That's gone away now. They're completely healed. This is like 5 days later. They did take a little longer to heal than the last couple times, but overall, nothing too crazy. Obviously, I also showed off this black that Rick put over the top of the chest. And it really did the trick. It seems to be staying pretty black. I think what's going to happen is it's going to fade back maybe a shade or two, but I'm planning on filling in red all around it, so I don't think... I'm planning a session with Terry this week. Hopefully it happens. Again, I'm never positive about those ones. There's always so much that goes into that where we could have any other thing come up, and my appointment is always kind of just, you know, a what if with him. It's not a standing appointment like I have with Rick. So, yeah. And I could be hit by a bus tomorrow. There's always that possibility too. But if we have that session, what I plan on doing is filling in the red in between the tentacles and right up to the black that Rick did there. And then we'll touch up some of the red in here too. But that should go really quick. It's been 6 months now that I've had this red, so it should be a decent result. Again, I'm finding that like the longer you wait in between passes, the more you get in return, because some of the skin is still healing when you rush it. So for example, we did the second pass and then the highlights and all that stuff on the rose arm pretty quick after we did the first pass. And it did work, but I think it probably would have worked even better if we had waited longer. But it's not like I can't do that later. I think I need to give this arm a nice long rest because it's in some form of healing in places still. The skin is really, really dry still, so it's telling me to fuck off for a bit, and I can respect its wishes. I'm not looking to create scar tissue, more scar tissue than necessary anyway, and I'd rather a good heal and a good result. So now we got it to where it looks great, and we did the 10 sessions like I said. We're going to leave it and let it settle for a long, long time before looking at it again. I'm still not sure about the thorns. I'm kicking that back and forth still, but for now we'll just leave it alone because I don't have a great answer. I've been thinking about doing a different color for the thorns, either brown or green or even an opaque, something to set them apart from the roses in the background a little more. Anyway, without further ado, I'll get into what Rick and I got up to. Obviously, last week I was talking about I wasn't really looking forward to this session with Rick so much because he was just talking about boldening up the outlines and like I had said then, like, I don't know why we don't just do them the right way the first time. I kind of get now because I wasn't sure what he was thinking exactly. I kind of knew, but I wasn't sure. He also said he wanted to do some more color on the chest. We did not do more color on the chest. I'm a little annoyed that we didn't, but at the same time, I'm very happy with what we did do with that session. I'm not going to let the chest piece go. It's still not finished yet. We've worked on it 21 times, but it's still not where it could be very easily. I think there's a few things that we have left to do there that would really level up the whole piece. So I'm not going to let it go, but I understand Rick wanting to really focus up on the sleeve. He's having a lot of fun with it. He's wanted to do this concept for his entire tattoo career. He's never had a chance to, so I get it on a lot of levels, but I'm not leaving this behind at the same time. I just think that when we get farther along on the chest piece, or not the chest piece, sorry, the left sleeve, I could see Rick hitting the chest again and really dedicating to it. For now, it's going to be an afterthought. So, yeah, I'll just show it off. We got a pretty good stretch of the arm lined. So, in saying that, there was a lot of lining, goes all the way and down to the arm. So we did like basically the stretch of the outer arm. We did some of the inner arm, but my inner arm's got a ton of scar, and you can still see Spawn's face here. That is not unsaturated skin or light saturated skin. That is scar tissue in there. You can see his eyes. In certain light, you can see his whole face. And there's some of that on my inner arm too, like inner forearm too. So just a lot of scar tissue there overall. And scar tissue is hard to saturate. So we'll do that another day. I'm expecting to have probably 2 more sessions just like that, where it's just boldening and some shading. And yeah, before we even get into the black and white. But we had a 3.5-4 hour session, which is pretty decent for Rick. Normally he's got a pretty short fuse on him, and he won't work the skin harder than it wants. So say my skin starts getting leathery and not taking ink, that's typically the time that he'll stop tattooing me. So it was pretty good for him and for my skin too, I guess. I don't know what the fuck. We were on a good, I guess the stars aligned because things just went really well. Yeah. Anyway, this session was a lot easier than the last few sessions I've had with Rick. As I mentioned in the last session, Rick's outlining really, really hurts. He's a savage with his lines. He moves fucking quick. I'll put a video into that. I don't know, like, I think it has something to do with really wanting to get the layout done quick, but we probably took about 3.5-4 hours laying the whole thing out, just outlining it, stenciling it on, basically. And then when it came to actually lining it, you know, he slowed way down, which is fine. It was way easier. It was way less painful and way more pleasant. I was actually almost falling asleep in places. And I mean it, too. Like, I was like, oof. Because I'm tired. You know, I get up at 4 in the morning, and a lot of times when I get tattooed, it's sort of like a day at the spa for me. It's my relaxation. It's my happy time. So for me, getting a really chill tattoo, because arm tattoos are really as easy as they get, I was getting pretty cozy, you know? I could have nodded off. Anyway, we got a lot done. We got quite a bit more done than I was expecting. I had an idea of what he wanted to do with the outline, but I wasn't entirely sure. So for this, he used a 14 round hollow liner, and he even double and triple lined some things. And there were some things that he lined the outside and the inside of and came back and filled later with the mag. So the outline is incredibly bold. There's no missing it. I can go stand across the room. You'll still be able to see it in this camera. It was really cool when I went home, because a lot of times what happens is when you do a thin outline on black, it's hard to pick it out from very far away. But when I went home and showered and cleaned up and saw that the outline of this tattoo is as bold at home in my terrible bathroom light as it is shop light with the shop light, it was pretty cool. I was pretty happy with that. Especially we haven't even touched it with white yet, so when we start ramping up the contrast with white and color, you know, if we can keep this kind of a boldness to the black that we use, then we're betting on a winner. This is going to be a really cool sleeve. As you can see, it's all connected, so the top and the bottom, it's all one creature. We're going to have another arm in here. You can kind of see that here. Obviously, it's thinner outline, not real in there, just there as a guideline. But there's another arm and a whole bunch of tentacles, and we'll be getting to all of that over the next week or two. I think it'll probably be 2 weeks. We'll have the whole arm done like this, same kind of thing. He's got to come back up here and do these lines, then the inner bicep and the lower arm, obviously. So we've got our work cut out for us with that. This being session 4, we've had 4 layout days so far. Layout, boldening, whatever. So this is session 4 already. But I think with how much ground we covered, I think that if we can do those kinds of sessions every week, and I don't think we will, I think there'll be some smaller ones too. But if we can do sessions like that fairly often, I think that I'll be cutting some time off this sleeve. I originally speculated that it would be between 50 and 70 sessions, if you'll recall. I could see, if we're moving this pace, I could see us doing it in 30 to 50. And that's still a lot, but when you consider the fact that all we've done is the outline of this beast, and it's not even fully outlined and we're already 4 sessions in, yeah, we got a lot of work ahead of us. So I'm expecting this sleeve to be a couple 100 hours, and I'm perfectly fine with that. In fact, that's the kind of sleeve I want it to be. I was very happy with how this one came out. It took about 50 hours roughly, but it's not as complicated. Even if Terry were to do this, if he could be Rick and do what Rick does, it would still take a lot more sessions. So it's not just a Rick thing. The guys at the shop were joking about, like, oh yeah, he gives me 10 sessions to do a sleeve, he gives Rick 70. Well, it's not just that though. Even if Terry was doing this sleeve, even with his work ethic and his pace, and I don't think he could even execute this sleeve because it's a completely different style from what he does, it would take him a lot more sessions than it took to do this too, because we were just doing big shading, real simple, bold stuff. And while I love this sleeve, and it came out great, when I seen this outline, and I was standing from far away and I could see it in the mirror, clear, and you kind of already know what you're looking at, and we're only this far into it, this is a chance to be my favorite sleeve of the two, and not just of the two, but perhaps overall. And I mean for all the sleeves I've had, and I've had a lot of sleeves, and each one of those sleeves had a lot of variation. So I find it fairly novel that the best sleeves for me are going to be the 2 sleeves I did over black, and that's not just recency bias. I think that it's about learning what works with tattoos and what doesn't, and then applying it. And we kind of can't do that as well early on. A lot of the times we make poor decisions, or not poor decisions, but like decisions that don't translate as well to tattooing. Like, just because you like a picture doesn't mean it works. Just because you had an action figure you really liked as a kid doesn't mean it'll make a good tattoo. Good tattoos should be bold and readable. And a lot of what I got into in my first sleeve, particularly my first right sleeve, it wasn't bold or readable. So I do find it novel that the sleeves that I'm doing over black are going to be as readable as most people's sleeves are pre-blackout, and definitely more readable than the sleeves I had. That being said, I think that I'm going to like this one more. And I still like this one, and it doesn't make me think, oh, I wish I had done it with Rick. I just think that it's a good blend of styles. And, you know, my whole thing is it's almost like a monster in a rose garden, and I kind of love that concept. So I think I can work with that for a long time, and I think it's going to be a long time before I run out of steam. So I don't know I still don't know exactly what my legs are going to look like, but I'm getting some ideas as I go along, and all of what we're doing up here is going to inform probably the best pieces we do are going to be on my legs, because they'll be the last things I do over black, and I'll have had the most time to learn exactly what works and how, and it'll just be rolling it out at that point. That being said, that's probably a few years off, so who knows. Anyway, I'm yammering now, so I'll just show it off again. So you can see we covered a lot of ground, and it's all one piece. We got a big old hand there, and yeah, it's going to be really, really cool. Like, this is going to be awesome if we can get this done. Keep that same black bold line going through the whole thing. I think we're betting on a winner. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys again soon. Have a great day.